Hello everyone. So yesterday we end up at describing the different type of quality assurance department, and I suggested a suitable path for all the international students or professional who are seeking job in quality assurance. That first they should go in quality operations, then they should go in quality systems, and then they should go for disposition and rest of the other departments. Similarly, today I will go over another supporting department which is an integral part of quality assurance. So, in every department that I mentioned yesterday, quality systems, quality compliance, quality operations, and disposition, each department has at least one or two representative who support these two departments that I'll go over. So you will find different routine job openings in these two functions in under quality assurance different departments. Also, it's very easy to enter in these two departments as the skill set requirement, the knowledge requirement, any specific degree requirements are very less or very common for quality assurance professionals. So the two department I'm focusing today, which are an integral part of basic core functions in any quality assurance unit, are quality documentation and quality trainings. So in this video, I'll go over what these two departments do, and then I have decided that there are few common skills that you should mention during your interview or in your resume in order to get shortlisted for any openings or jobs you see in these two departments. It's very easy to get entered in these two departments, and from there onward you can start your journey as a quality assurance professionals either in quality operations, quality systems, quality compliance, and quality disposition. So first is quality documentation. So before we go to this department, I would like to bring your attention to like you can include these two phrases in your interview that make you or look like a standout candidate during an interview, which are like do what is written and write what you have done. It's a thumb rule for good manufacturing practices. So do what is written and write what you have done. Second, it's a famous saying in GMP world that if anything is not documented, that event never happened. So just keep these two phrases in your mind while you are going for interview in these two um, department, quality documentation and quality trainings. So the type of roles you will find in these two departments are generally um, quality documentation associate, quality training associate. These two functions are run based on the size of company on two different platforms. One, either manual or automated. So if a company is big, global company, who have an international presence, huge product portfolio, commercialized product in the market, running successfully for several years, they now already have automated electronic systems who support quality documentation practices or operations. Similarly, companies who are big enough and global nature, they have automated software system to support their quality assurance training functions in quality assurance department. Company who are startup, small in size, have clinical products in their pipeline, not big in number, ranging from 50 employees to 500 employees, they still run on manual basis. Means they don't have the software, but they do follow the same principle which are required to run these two departments. So now let me tell you what quality documentation department do. They are responsible for documentation or document revision. There are several documents that pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical industry use, and I will go over those documents in a separate session. But you should, for some examples are protocol, SOP, standards, specifications, policies, job aid, work instructions, standard operating procedures again, batch manufacturing records, batch logbooks, cleaning logbooks, equipment uses logbook, calibration certificates. So these documents are strictly controlled with their revision and content. So it's the responsibility of this department to ensure that they strictly control the revision of document used in good manufacturing practices or companies. Second, they are responsible for issuance of documents. So in case a document is revised, it's a new document, or it's obsolete. So just keep these three in mind: new, revised, or obsolete. This department has a very important function. They ensure that if a new document comes into existence, they ensure the concerned department get the copy of the same SOP or batch record or any documents that is revised, that has a new existence. Second, if any existing document is revised, they are responsible to circulate the copies to the concerned department. Third, if any document is obsolete, which for example, if equipment you are no more using and become obsolete, they are taking out of its manufacturing facility, all the standard procedures, policies, guidance who are guiding that the operation step for that equipment, this department is responsible to take that out of the facilities. Then document storage, this is their third important function. So document storage is like company have documentation cells, where documentation cells are different types. In my other videos I'll go over how the archiving process and documentation process works. So document storage happens at documentation cells. Sometimes companies have documentation cells like perpetual documentation cells, where those documents are stored which are perpetual in nature, like they are not related with the revision of or expiration date of a batch record. You need to store them for infinity duration. That's the simplest definition I learned. They cannot be destroyed, you have to keep them forever. Some example of such documents are like training records, process validation records, and any filing records you did for regulatory. Then they have new document issuance stock cell. So these cells from where all the new document distribution happen. Then they have a 5-year or expiration date based storage cells, from where only those documents are stored which have a expiration date. For example, you manufactured a batch which has expiration date of 3 years. So from today until the expiration date of that product, you have to store that, and then you have the authority or freedom to destroy them, because the product is no more in the market, it dissolved, or the expiration date has passed. Now the fourth one is document third party archiving. Some companies, we know that it's a competitive world, everybody is running out of space, companies are growing. So let's say if a company started producing so many documents, and they need to make facilities where they can store them, organize them in proper manner. They have to maintain the regulatory expectations as well, like this room where you are storing perpetual documents, it should be fireproof, it should have the fire alarm, the doors are capable enough to prevent any fire coming from inside, it should have a restricted access for anybody else to come inside. So what they do, they have third party archiving systems such as Iron Mountain. It's a general company which has so many warehouse out there. So they reached out to companies and they say, if you are filled with so many documents and you don't need them often, we are here to help you. We'll store them to our warehouse, and whenever you need, we'll help you bring them back to your facility. So this is the department who interact with our third party document storage facilities such as Iron Mountain. Then distribution of approved documents. Any document which is approved, maybe it's a new, maybe it's revised, this quality documentation department is responsible to distribute to them to the concerned personals. For example, um, a new filter integrity apparatus has been installed in the facility. Now, how many people need to aware about the procedure, how to operate this? First, manufacturing person who's responsible to execute the operations. Second, quality assurance department, because they will oversee how the operator is performing, whether they are aligning with the standard procedure. Third, the instrumentation department. Fourth, the facility department, because these two are the support department who support the functionality of this instrument. They should know when the calibration date is coming back for this new instrument, so that they can call the concerned person and have it calibrated, so that it can produce the consistent result we desired for. So, quality documentation is responsible to distribute a copy of new, revised document related to the filter integrity to these four departments. They will give a call to them in case of manual system, or email the specific representative of these department and tell them that, guys, we have a new instrument installed at this facility. This is the standard procedure everybody will be following. Please go through them and see what responsibilities you are going to handle with respect to this new instrument. And they are the responsible person who collect these copies from these four departments in case this SOP or this instrument become obsolete. So they'll call them or email them and collect the old copy and mention them that, hello everyone, this instrument is no more in the existence. Please give us the old copies, and there is a new instrument installed. Here is the updated copy. Now, whenever audit comes, this is the department who support the various functions in audit. So now think about my previous video where I mentioned quality compliance department, who are the face of a company to present during any audit. Now this department support that audit functions of quality compliance department. They are the responsible person who set up the back room. So during the audit, sometime auditor sits in the front room and they call another room where the subject matter experts sit, and another back room they mention as this documentation review room. You can say war room. Some company says war room to those rooms. So this department is responsible to pull any third party archived documents. In case FDA auditor asks, I want to know what happened to the batch you manufactured 3 years ago from now, and you figure out that, okay, that batch we have stored to a third party facility. So this department interact with them and say that, guys, we need that document, can you bring us back in a quick succession. It happens in the audit. Second, any copy or the latest version of SOP documents. Whenever I say document, the documents are SOP, protocol, batch record, specification, test data sheets, work instructions, job aid, equipment users log, any executed document, process validation protocol, equipment and facility qualifications, any executed, new, revised or obsolete document. This function is responsible to provide the copy and provide the required support during the FDA inspections. Now, as we came to the end, I would like to bring the attention of everyone that, as I mentioned, companies are of two sizes, smaller and bigger. Those companies who are established have multi-billion-dollar revenue every year, and some companies are smaller who have a pipeline of product, very small number of product, small number of employee, small facility. They have manual system. The bigger company I mentioned, they have the automated system. So quality documentation department also responsible for issuance of eBPR and e-test data sheet for quality control department. Similarly, bigger companies who are now switching from manual filling batch record or manual SOPs or manual protocol fillings to automated or digital or electronic batch record, This department is responsible for issuance, control, revision, obsolete of all such batch record. So just consider that right now in smaller companies, a manufacturing operator fill the manufacturing parameter of equipment or a process in a paper based batch record, that how the process or a drug to be manufactured. At the same time, some bigger company, multi-billion dollar revenue company, they have adopted a electronic batch record where you have a tablet or electronic display against the each process step. Manufacturing operator either scan their card or put their thumbs, put their password, and then record the operations right at that moment. So just to be remain aware of electronic documentation and electronic TDS, um, this will make you stand out in the interview. Like if you mention such a difference to an auditor that or a interviewer that I know that some company are automated, some are manual. I've also seen, or if you want to gain some experience, just read about eBPR and ETDS and some articles or some video. That's great for you. So these are the functions of quality documentation. Go through them. From my perspective, it's a great start and easy start for anybody who have experience in library, who have organization skills, who have bookkeeping skills. Like if you are in library, just see them, or even if you been to any bookstore, you can see they have categorized the books in these sections, as well as they have some subcategories based on the author, based on the year they published. um, the most famous one have a different sections: philosophy, autobiography, geography, history. So these section is similar to how you categorize your records being a quality documentation person. Like there are some document which we need to keep for perpetual infinity duration. Those should have a separate section. We have a separate documentation cells for records that need to be um, discarded after the expiration date of the product, so you should store them in a different manner. So, after that, I mentioned that the different type of documents such as SOP, work instructions, job aid, protocols, batch records. So if you know, or if you have an understanding to categorize the document based on their type, based on their product, based on the expiration date of the product, based on the manufacturing date of the product. A company has different department: quality control, quality assurance, instrumentation, utility. If you have that understanding and an ability to express that, you can categorize the document in these many different departments, these many different ways. You have a better chance to present yourself during such interviews and stand out as a candidate who knows the process ahead of the time, and presenting the skills that they are really interested in the quality documentation role. Now I'll come back to the quality training part. Quality training is another support department. I know some companies have an individual training department which fall under HR, who look after the new hire onboarding, who look after the manager training, who look after the leadership training. But in pharmaceutical manufacturing, biopharmaceutical companies, every those four sections: quality operations, quality compliance, quality systems, and disposition. Every department have at least one or two representative who support the quality training as a functions in their respective department. Similarly, manufacturing department also have a training representative. Instrumentation department has a training representative. Utility has their training representative. Quality control has their representative for training. Warehouse has their training representative. Similarly, quality assurance department also has a quality training role. So you will see the roles of quality training or training associate, junior associate training, and any such role. The basic understanding we need to keep in mind is that companies based on their size use different modules. Some company use manual, some company use automated. Bigger company use automated systems. Smaller companies 50 to 500 and less revenue use manual system. Both the function work on the same principle of training. So now let me go over the different type of role in a training department, or the responsibility of quality training associate is. First, look after the training file creation. So as I mentioned in the start of this video, if any event is not documented, it's never happened as per the good documentation practices rule. So FDA want to come, and whenever they come, they want to see that if a training session happened, for example, this session I'm giving training to somebody and it's been recorded somewhere that how many people have seen this video, who is subscribing to this video, and it's recorded, and there is an event shows that on date this and that XYV has seen this video. It's a proof that they are aware of whatever content delivered from this video, and they have absorbed it and got a fair amount of understanding. So that's the reason why every employee in a company has a training file. So similar to our HR file, similar to our any university financial record that a university maintain for all students, each company maintain an individual training file for all the employees in the company. And a training file contain job description, second resume, third required trainings, and any certificates an employee have. So whenever you see a training file, you should give them a basic understanding that I know that a training file contain job description, resume, any trainings and certification for that employee. Second, this quality training role required training course creation. So I mentioned in manual quality training system, manual courses were created. Courses are nothing, just a set of instruction which mention that what is the course title, how many training will be given during this course or curricula, and what will the content, and is there any questionnaire involved, and what type of assessment will be done after the training. Same thing happen in a automated system, where a software system asks you these questions and you just need to fill some forms, and it is created as a virtual course inside software. Third, training execution. So training execution is like when you go in a new company, you have some basic type of training. First of all, like HR orientation training, where human resource department will give you a brief understanding of the department or a company. Second, health and safety training, where a company, if it's a chemical company or a biopharmaceutical and pharmaceutical company, involves so many safety hazards or things that we should aware of when we go on shop floor. So health and safety will give you the training on that. Then we'll have GMP training. GMP training will tell you about the GMP regulations and GDP regulation, like do what is written and write what you have done. And if any event or activity is not recorded, it never happened. So training execution happens like an instructor comes, they give the training using presentation, using videos, using some side of handouts, and after the training there are mode of examination as well. Sometimes instructor just ask random question to random people, and based on the answer he receive, they conclude the session. Sometimes they give the questionnaire, 10 question, multiple choice answer, you answer them, similar to what you do in the universities. Now recording a training. Recording a training is like whenever we go in a classroom for an instructor in our university, instructor asks or pronounce our name and we have to say we are present or unpresent. Similar happen in a training session in a pharma and biopharma company. They hand out a training sheet where you need to enter your employee number, your name, your department, today's date, and you sign that you are present and attended this training session. This record, all training record are going into the individual training files as well. In my other videos, I'll go over on quality training only. It's itself contain a manual process and automation process, and I'll go over different forms, how it look like, how a training file look like. um, Now coming back to the other supports are audit support. Similarly, if you are sitting in FDA audit, or if you belong to quality training in any organization, FDA audit announce, you are sitting in the back room, you are helping your team. Let's say FDA auditor asks that during the investigation of this deviation, you mentioned that you have apprised your team about the revised procedure, so that this event may not won't be happening again in near future, and they want to see the training record, that I want to see how many people got trained on this revised procedure and when they got trained. So you are the responsible person, if you are working in this department, to go to the training files of individual employees, pull that training recording sheet and present it to the FD auditor. Now, curricula of training. Similarly, everyone who is enrolled in university, let's say regulatory affairs, project management, chemical engineering, or any other courses, they have a preset curricula where it says these are the required courses, and these are the those courses where you, based on your choice, you can choose one of them. So curricula in quality training is just the set of standard operating procedure. And it also have the similar category. There are set of SOPs that you need or must read or complete the training before you go and start your operations. Some trainings are operations just for your information. That, for example, a policy related to human resource is more toward information, and you should be aware of those. So this curricula is the list of training. So I'll go over in a separate training session different type of curricula and how they look like. Trend and metrics. This is more toward the performance, how your team are performing. If you are working in quality training, it's your responsibility to run the quality training metrics. Metrics will shows department A has 7 employees and 7 employees are 100% training compliant, means they have completed all the training we have assigned to them. Department B has 9 employees, 5 of them has completed 50% of training, 4 of them has completed 70% of the training. So this is how they motivate their employees, as well as they bring the attention of management toward why training is not being completed on time, and it's a trigger point for a company that okay, we may face a upcoming deviation because people are not getting trained. Last but not least is GMP awareness. Every year FDA is keep revising. If you see the guidance document or the new regulation FDA has bring to this world, just because of the bad incidents keep happening. Similarly, FDA continuously improving their guidance document and doing the changes. Quality training department work very closely with the quality compliance department, who closely see or follow the FDA website. They mention quality training that guys, we have a new guidance document known as data integrity guidance document. This is our summary of presentation. We need you to create a course and start delivering this training session to all the employees. So these are the basic duties of quality documentation and quality training. Now I have populated some common skills. These skills you should mention in your resume if you want to get shortlisted for one of these 2 roles. Only these skills will work. If you are doing project management, if you are doing pharmaceutical chemistries, MS in pharmaceutical sciences, if you are doing chemical engineering, if you are doing regulatory affairs, and you are putting all the skills that you have learned during the program, they may not look worth enough to get shortlisted for these 2 roles. You have to put these skills or the skills which are similar from your past experience. You may not need any type of experience to enter in these 2 job function. First are good manufacturing practice, good documentation practice, document type. You remember I mentioned, if you show that you know the different type of document, SOP, protocol, batch record, specification, process validation protocol, work instructions, job based, calibration certificate, instrumentation certificates, validation certificate, then product knowledge, what a company is manufacturing. If you mention them that I have a sound understanding that you have 7 products in clinical stage, 3 products in commercial stage, that shows that you have a picture in your mind and you know different type of document that need to be processed. 21 CFR Part 11. This section describe about the e-signature. So if a company is using e-batch record, e-TDS, and if you mention that you are aware of the 21 CFR Part 11 guidance requirement, it make a huge difference during telephonic or face-to-face interview. If you know the filing procedure, how the filing happen, different type of document, how they are categorized, how you can file them, and this you can learn from your library experience. You can go to any bookshop or bookshelf, you read some SOPs regarding, or read some guidance document or articles on filing procedures. And I also mentioned bringing your library experience can be a big deal. And if you show that you have organization skills or like organizer skills, that you are a good organizer, you can organize product documents based on product, company, type of storage, time of storage, department they belong. So in conclusion, these 2 departments required fresh graduates as well as people who have minimum or at maximum 1 to 2 years of experience. They are seeking someone who have an understanding of these functions and how they perform. They don't seek expertise because these are not rocket science. Everybody can understand, grasp, and go through them very quickly. So my true advice to everybody is that look for quality documentation and quality training roles. Try understand how they are integral part of a quality assurance department such as quality operations, compliance, system, and quality disposition. And from there start your journey, grasp and contribute effectively in these 2 roles, and then switch to quality operations and respectively to further in the other quality assurance department. In my next videos I'll be going over quality documentation and quality training, and then we'll move on to our quality operation, because we have to start from basics in order to grasp the concept of quality operations and going forward until quality disposition. If you have any question, please do message me on the comment section. Subscribe to this channel so that you can see more video down the line. Let me know any other question you need. I'll be going over separately on keywords, resume structure, and looking for these 2 jobs. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and thank you so much. Bye.